Welcome back to the Grand Solar Minimum channel. Today is Tuesday, November 12th, 2019. Let's take a look at our solar winds right now, sitting at 319.5 kilometers per second with a density of 2.5. We are expecting solar winds to increase. This next coronal hole that is going to be appearing Earth-facing right now as we speak, actually. It's very small. Could be very speeds between 450 and 550. Nothing major expected. No sunspots to report right now, but if you look in the far eastern limb to the southern part, you will see a burst of activity that just appears over the eastern limb. We will watch that. That could be our next sunspot. As of right now, it is not numbered or labeled, and we are now 9 days in a row without a sunspot here, in 236 in 2019 without sunspots. Our TCI has remained unchanged from last night. It's still at a 3.82, still dropping, by the way. KP indices of a 1 and a 24-hour max of a 2, and that's right, you all know what that means. We have an Earth-facing coronal hole. KP indices are now between 1 and 2. So we could see another strong earthquake somewhere in the range of 6.5 or higher within the next 48 to 72 hours. Let's take a look at what we'll be expecting on the other side of our star. Lots of active regions on the eastern limb and beyond. There's that coronal hole that's turning Earth facing, and then you see the large coronal hole on the eastern limb with two possible bright active regions, one in the southern region for sure, and then one near the negative 180, still a few days away from the eastern limb. So right now we will, it looks like, be dealing with another large coronal hole, but at this point we won't see the effects from the one that's on the eastern limb right now, probably until closer to the 20th of November, maybe around the 18th. We'll keep our eyes on that and continue to monitor it. All right, let's take a look at our weather for our friends in UK and Europe. I'm going to read the United Kingdom forecast, but I figured I'd at least show a live radar of much of Europe right now. And every morning I say the same thing almost, but today there is this word in here. It starts with the S-U-N. Oh, so today, bright spells for most of, also some rain though, but there will be sun today in the UK somewhere. The far south and the northwest of England is the driest. Cold and windy, particularly the west with coastal gales. Very strong winds this morning for North Wales and Liverpool Bay. Tonight, showers dying out from many areas away from the far north and the Irish Sea coastal areas. Cold with widespread frost in the north and a few patches of fog. The wind will be dying down tonight as well. And then tomorrow, a bright start, but clouding over the day. Coastal showers, these are more widespread for Wales and the southwest. Strengthening winds and further rain here in the afternoon, remaining cold. So, some sun, some clouds, some rain, and cold is what is on the way for the UK. And as you can see, this is a live look at our real-time data on the radar. And Norway, definitely getting their snow as we speak. Denmark, it's about to be a soggy one for you guys today. Showers are moving in. Meanwhile, we got some light showers in parts of France. But looking in England right now, some showers and storms moving across from north to south. London, you should be now just getting into that rain band. Most of Ireland looking pretty good right now. But Scotland also, you are dealing with tons of rain and showers as always. Again, we'll check out the UK Tropical Tidbits extended forecast tomorrow, and we'll look at the long term. But last time we checked this, guys, this is off and on rain showers, some cold on the way, some possible snow showers as well. All right, let's jump over here to the United States and get a look at our U.S. weather. Also, the radar picking up some stuff here in Canada as well. Alberta, Edmonton, you're getting some light snow as we speak. Parts of BC, the southern parts anyway, all rain near Seattle. And really, it's all clear until you get about Ottawa and Quebec. That's where we're seeing the light snow, some moderate on the Canadian side of this system. Now, it's already moved through New York. I can tell you from experience right now that we probably got maybe 1.5 to 2 inches of snow in the capital region of New York, and that was probably pushing it, actually. The majority of the heavier snow was falling yesterday just north and west to us, and we were stuck in a pretty much all-day lull until overnight, where we got a quick burst this morning. Actually, it was enough to create some delays for schools here in New York, which is kind of surprising because I've seen some pretty hefty snows, but the only thing I can think of today was that we had ice mixing in with this overnight as well. A little bit surprising, but I looked it up. Gatlinburg, Tennessee, thanks to Mike's weather page, he was actually in Gatlinburg and got some actual video footage of snow falling in Gatlinburg. Now, I had to look this up for myself. This is not too uncommon. October 30th, it was the earliest recorded snow ever in Gatlinburg. And looking back at the history, though, the average inches per month, definitely a big fat zero for October and November in Gatlinburg. So they got just a coating of snow, nothing major down there, but still, November 12th, and they've got a coating of snow on the ground. That's pretty intense for them. So very excited. It's probably, if anything, it's helping them get in the holiday spirits for sure. But after this system moves out today, we're going to be looking at lake effect snows in parts of Erie, parts of Michigan, and it looks like as well Buffalo and the South Towns may have some later lake effect snow showers developing as we go through our day. Take a look at the temperatures right now. Boy, it is cold everywhere. Unless you live in Florida and Georgia, it is not that cold. But even in California right now, parts of California sitting in the 40s. Miami, 72 degrees. That is definitely the sweet spot for this morning. Lots of single-digit temperatures across the Midwest and the Northern Plains. -10 in the northern part of Minnesota. That's right, -10. These are actual temperatures right now for the lower 48. And today's minimum temperatures, single digits expected everywhere tonight. In the northern parts, Northern Plains, the Midwest, the Great Lakes. We are actually expected to get a low of 8 in the New York capital region as well. Here's your daytime highs. Not very warm for the Great Lakes, the upper northern plains, and of course the Northeast. Fall-like conditions for the rest of the country, except if you live in Southern California or Florida. And this is what we're looking at today. Light snow on the back end of this system in the Northeast. Again, this is going to be very light. No accumulations are going to be expected from this. Frozen precipitation, though, across Montana, North Dakota, and South Dakota. Some of it could be extremely dangerous as there is ice also possible with this mixture of moisture today. And then tomorrow, that snow and ice begins to move a little bit further south and east, invading the Great Lakes, and showers and thunderstorms develop along the Gulf Coast of Texas. And then we get to Thursday. Believe it or not, where temperatures kind of warm up a little bit for us here in the Northeast. And when I say warm up, I say upper 30s, low 40s. But then by Friday of this week, now I don't have a map that goes that far, but high temperatures will be back below freezing. So freezing today, tomorrow, 40s in the 30s on Thursday, but then Friday back down into the 20s with single digits for low temperatures. Here's a look at our nation's watch box. Still a winter storm warning in parts of upper New York and throughout New Hampshire and Maine as well. Vermont is included. Winter weather advisories all over the Northeast, except for Connecticut. It looks like Massachusetts as well. You guys are in the clear for now. Parts of Ohio, still expecting possible light snow from this situation. And check this out in the South, guys. Those dark boxes, those are freeze warnings. So the Gulf Coast is under a freeze warning for tonight for the majority parts of the South, and also it's wind chill advisory in southern Georgia, and then a very hard freeze in Louisiana. Now, I spoke with Lee Wheelbarger last night, and he's in Shreveport right now, and it got so cold. The daytime highs yesterday were in the mid-70s. When he checked into his hotel last night, temperatures were down in the lower 40s, upper 30s, and this is a problem that you normally don't have in hotels, but when you're staying in hotels in the South, it can happen. And that was, he had to be switched to a different room. His heater wouldn't even work. Again, they don't usually need the heater in Louisiana, especially in Shreveport. But just to let you know how cold it is right now, folks. I mean, this is no joke. This kind of temperature drop in this part of the year makes me feel like that winter is here about a month and a half early. When you see temperatures like this. Now, Granted, these are daytime lows, or these are the low temperatures of the day until the sun comes up all over, and then we'll see temperatures around 30s and 40s. But still, to have single digits or even -10 in spots in northern Minnesota, that's pretty intense cold weather, folks. Nothing to be looked at and just say, it's just winter. Not true. All right, let's take a quick look at our GFS long-term forecast here. And this system will move out quickly today. We'll get some remaining lingering lake effect snows. More snow coming in from BC, Alberta, into Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota. This will sweep across the country pretty quick as well. Go through the Great Lakes, and honestly, this snow must be afraid of the United States border because it all stays in Canada, Toronto, Quebec, Montreal. You guys will get light snow showers off of this for Thursday into Friday, and then that system takes its sweet old time, really, and makes an exit by Saturday. High pressure setting up across northern Canada above the Great Lakes. More low pressure system off the east coast. Again, this one's staying away, so we don't expect any kind of crazy weather from this. More snow across Manitoba, Alberta, and heavy snow coming in through BC into the northwest. And we keep our eyes here in the Great Lakes, another possible system here for Minnesota, Detroit, and Wisconsin as well. But this low pressure system from the northwest begins to make its move across the United States. And pretty much we're going to see a pretty big heavy snow event for the 21st of November for Wyoming, Utah, parts of Colorado, and the South Dakota into Nebraska, as this thing turns into a major snow system by Thursday night. And people that live in Nebraska, the western part of Nebraska through central Nebraska, same with South Dakota, you guys are going to be expecting the heaviest of the snow. This thing continues to move east, northeast, and by next weekend, Minnesota, where you have that -10, you could see some very heavy snow by the end of this week. Once that system moves out of the northern Great Lakes, more cold air to resettle into the vicinity, and also it reinforces itself back in the northeast. And we talked about this pattern flip, like right now, a week on the 24th, 2 weeks from now, we're looking at back to the cold of the Ohio Valley in the northeast. Right now, we've got the cold here and we did have warmer temperatures ridging up the East Coast, but now everything's pretty chilly after this last blast of cold air. So pattern flip once again, colder air in the northeast. And then we look at Monday, November 25th. We'll start to see that dual cold zone here, the northwest and the northeast. And right now, the system moving out of the Gulf is going to stay mainly on land, which I believe is going to only create a rain event for the East Coast by the end of the month. So by the time we get to Thanksgiving, temperatures will remain above freezing. At this point, this is just an outlook, guys. This is way too far away. But again, this is the idea that GFS has. Now, does it mean it's time to break out the sandals and flip-flops? No. We're going to be in the 40s and 50s, which will be pleasant weather for this time of year, if you ask me. So right now, the idea, right before we get into December, we could see some 40s and 50s across the majority part of the United States by the end of the month. All right, that's going to do it for me this morning, guys. We will be back tomorrow morning with another update. And then Wednesday night, 9 p.m., we'll do another live Grand Solar Minimum update news show. And we'll probably have a better idea of what we're going to see on Thanksgiving as far as weather by Wednesday or Friday this week. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Make sure everyone has a great but safe day, and we will talk soon. Take care.
Do you like this show? Give us a thumbs up. Want to support us more? Share to your favorite social media platform. Buy a t-shirt or become a Patreon. All links are in the description below.